going to attempt to compose a prelude in the style of Bach in about 20 minutes. I'm giving myself a 20-minute sort of timeline, deadline to compose this prelude in the style of Bach. And it's going to be based on the prelude that I just played through a little bit there. The Prelude from Cello Suite number 1, BWV 1007, probably Bach's most famous prelude. So we spent a few months, couple of months last year on the Creative Classical Guitarist, looking at this, and we got a whole bunch of wonderful preludes composed, but I realized that we never really did like a summary, conclusive summary that tied all the information we went through together into one sitting. And I think this can do it. If I just go through and compose, and you see the plan, and I just do a very basic composition based on this plan, this template that we have here, I think that'll be a good way to kind of tie everything together. So let's dive in. Now, I hope this is working here. You can see the screen. Yes, I think you can see that. Cool. So this is the template here. So what we've got is we've got the prelude of Bach in the bottom system, and we have a lot of information. So we've got what I call a canvas. We've got information. It's basically like an analysis of what's happening in the music. And we've got the chord structure as well. And so basically we're going to compose using that information. So the more of that information we use when we compose, the closer it will sound to the model piece. And the more we change, the more contrasting, the more we'll be going away from the piece. So you can see it's quite a substantial plan here. It's quite a substantial template, number of pages. Just a very, very rough summary of this prelude. It's through composed, so meaning that it doesn't have like a set structure, like a clearly defined structure, like ternary form or binary form. But we can put it into a beginning, middle, and end. So that's what we've done here. We've got a beginning, middle, and end, and this is something we discussed on CCG. And another important feature is that it's moto perpetuo, which means perpetual motion. And you can see it on the page. It's just constant 16th notes, constant semiquavers from the start to the finish. There's one quaver, 1/8 note over here, 1/8 note in the whole piece. Or maybe there's more. Maybe there's one more over here. And those 8th notes are actually very important. They do kind of signify, they give us a clue that we're coming to a new section, to a different section. So we have a beginning section's mostly made up of arpeggios, like that. Yeah. Most of it's arpeggios. Then we have a middle section. Most of it is made up of a pedal bass, a pedal A, dominant in the bass, with scales like that. And then we have an end section, which is using the technique we call a bariolage. So we have an end, which uses a bariolage, which starts here. Bariolage means multicolored, and it's when you have a melody and a melody that's alternating with another note, and they're usually close in register, and one of those notes will be a open string a lot of the times, so you get this kind of really cool effect, multicolored effect, where you're hearing often the same notes on different strings like this. Okay, so that's a very, very quick summary. I mean, there's so much to unpack in this piece. We spent many hours, many workshops doing that, but I got to get composing because I've got 15 minutes left to do this, setting my challenge here. So let's do it. We've got a beginning. We're in the key of D. I'm going to stick to the key of D. I'm just going to use semiquavers or 16th notes here. We've got D major at the start, then we go to a G chord here, and for some reason the chord symbol is not up here for the first couple of bars, so but we do have a D major. Maybe I can copy this over here. We have a D major. Will that paste? No, it doesn't paste. Anyway, D major to G, and then A slash D is A major slash D, and then we go back to D. So I'm going to come up with some kind of arpeggio right now on the spot. I don't even know what it's going to be. I like that. Something like that. All right, let's go with that. Beautiful thing is, molto perpetuo means I'm not going to be fussing around too much with the rhythm. Just going to keep these 16th notes going. Now just going to work. Kind of I've written something that's in 3/4 time. We need something in 4/4 time, so I have to figure that out. Extend it. Okay, so there's my initial arpeggio, and I'm going to add a nice deep bass note to that. Nice D into the bass. And then we're going to do the same thing now. I'm going to apply that arpeggio pattern, so very sort of in between arpeggio and melody there, and I just have to adapt that to a G chord. So Bach went and he did a very similar thing, but over a G chord. So I'm going to do a similar thing. So can I go? And that'll be for the A chord. Okay, I have to think about this for a little bit. Let's see, G. I know that I can, sometimes you don't have to always compose in order, you know. I can put a nice G arpeggio here, which I might not keep in the end, but let's see. Okay, so I'm kind of going to a 2 chord, like a more of an E minor sort of chord now. So do that. Well, I'm going to compose very quick if I'm going to get through this. This might have to be a 2-part series maybe. Now I don't remember what I did, so good enough. And then we'll go to the next chord. I won't copy and paste actually, so I will copy and paste. So it's an A chord with a D in the bass. So I might do a similar thing. I might reverse engineer it. So I'm going to put the A chord arpeggio here. Okay, so let's do that, and then we can copy bar 1, paste it in Oh, but I'm going to change it. I want to go up to... I'm going to just change it a little bit to that. Something I'm borrowing a little bit from Bach here as well is this lower neighbor motive. So that's something we discussed too. So there's a lower neighbor motive that Bach uses in the beginning section. Lower neighbor meaning it's you have an original note, you go down a step and you go back up. And that note below your original note, in this case the original note's F sharp here, and Bach is stepping down to the E. That's got a lower neighbor and going back up. So I've done a similar thing, lower neighbor, but this from D though. Lower neighbor from D, and then that repeats here, lower neighbor from E, and then lower neighbor from E again, and then now lower neighbor from F sharp. And I'm trying to create an arpeggio pattern that has some intricacy and some layering. It's not just like it's not just like an arpeggio of a chord. I've tried to create some layers like what Bach has done. He's got pedal notes, he's got this lower neighbor figure motive that runs through about the first third of the prelude. So let's have a listen to that. I'm happy with that for now, and yeah, 20 minutes might have to turn into 30 minutes. We'll see how we go. Okay, so next we're going to B minor. So Bach loves key changes. Bach changes keys every 4 to 8 bars, pretty much. It's very rare for Bach to stay in one key for more than 16 bars. If you know an example where Bach stays in a key for more than 16 bars, let me know. Maybe Minuet in G, I can think, maybe that one, but I really can't think of many examples where he doesn't change keys. So this is our first example of a key change, the start of a key change now. We get a B minor chord, an E7 chord, and then an A chord. So B minor is, it's the relative minor of D. It's the 6th chord in D, but it's also the 2 chord in A. And so we're getting a kind of a 2-5-1 in the key of A, the dominant. So we get the G sharp popping in here. The G sharp's the leading tone of A. And so we see that G sharp retained in measure 7 there too. Okay, and we see the introduction, the very first instance of it there, the G sharp. So that's our hint that we're going to the dominant, to the A, that's the leading tone of A, the raised 7th of the scale of A major. So we're going to do that as well. We're going to modulate like Bach does. We're going to use the same harmony that Bach's using. There's nothing, harmony is one of the most repetitive and universal aspects of music. We've been using the same chords for hundreds of years. No one has really complained much so far about that. They seem to work across many genres: jazz, pop, rock, metal, classical, folk, bluegrass, country. We tend to use similar chords, similar progressions. I mean, I could try to explain why that is, but it's very fascinating. So we're going to go to B minor now. So Bach here uses something called compound melody. And again, I can only describe this quickly because otherwise this will go on for hours. Compound melody is when you have a single line that implies multiple voices. So Bach does that. He goes lower neighbor melody motive, and then he has a D pedal. Yeah, see that D pedal, and he's a melody underneath the D pedal, and then a nice little ornate figure, and then here we get this G sharp with a alternating couple of notes above it. So that's implying multiple layers in these two measures here. So I'm going to try and replicate that. So we go B minor. Okay. I'm just kind of improvising around a little bit. So. Now I want to do a bit of, it's kind of a barrelage effect where we've got like a pedal note with a melody. So we could introduce the G sharp a bit early. Okay, so let's do that too. Okay, so we get that. I'll put that nice low bass D in there. Okay, so we get. Oh, the problem is that we've actually brought in E7 a little bit too early. So I'm implying E7 very strongly here. I'm going to move that over here. I want to keep B minor going a bit longer. All right, so there's a little bit of chopping and changing. You can do that as a composer. You know, hopefully you guys aren't too you know, critical of me for doing that. You got any comments? Let me know if you got any questions in the comments. Okay, so we've got B minor. I went to E7 a bit early. I want to save it for there, so I'm going to change this. Now we're a bit stuck, but let's see what happens. This down something like that, and then I'm gonna make this pedal note a B, and I'm gonna move the melody from this one, yeah, to G, make that a G sharp. Yeah, so okay, I'm going to just completely change this. So something like that. Okay, so I'll do that. All right. That. Ooh, that's nice, huh? A little bit of that melody moving in that middle voice there. Cool. Okay. Yeah, where that wants to go. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay. Let me just play these opening. What have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measures, just to see how it's kind of fitting together. that. What do you guys think? If you're watching right now, love to know what you reckon. What do you think? How's that going? Do you have any questions about composing? I can try my best to answer very quickly because I'm trying to compose quickly here. It's been about 15 minutes. I've got 6 bars in 15 minutes. If I keep that pace up, we have 42 bars. So 15 minutes, 6 bars, 6, 12, 18, 24, 32, 40, 6 times 15, gee, you know, that's going to be 15 times 2 is an hour. So that would take me, estimating that will take about 3 hours probably. But this is with me talking and stuff, so we'll see how we go. I might have to do this as a multi-parts kind of thing. Okay, but now we're quite low. So Bach does some more compound melody. He goes, which is nice. So I might do a little compound melody. We'll start with not with that. We'll do a semiquaver. We'll add a bass note in, and then we'll go up to this. Maybe we can do a little bit of campanella sort of thing, huh? We do that on this tuning though. Yeah, that kind of campanella, meaning bell-like, you know, you play notes across the strings. Try that. Now we're going to B minor. I kind of want to descend into B minor, into the minor. Maybe add a nice little emphasis there. Right, something like that. So we're in the key of A major, so we need to make those G's into G sharps there. So campanella. And I'm sort of trying to keep this idea of the compound melody, so it's like one line, but it's implying multiple voices. The way I've done that is through this register change. C sharp, big leap up to E, melody that's all close, big leap down to A. It kind of implies that this melody is kind of stopped, this kind of interrupts, and then this one comes back in. So not quite as elegant as Bach's compound melody, but I'm giving it my best go for a quick, you know, amount of time. So, okay, so now Bach brings back that note, lower neighbor motive. So I could try that as well. Mine was it's going to be very similar to what Bach has. I don't want to do that. So I might change the arpeggio pattern. The idea with the arpeggio pattern is that Bach is repeating, you know, 2 beats. So he's got these 2 beats here, and then he repeats it again. So I'm kind of trying to do something like that. something like that. Anyway, let's go with that. Sometimes when you're composing, you just have to say, yep, I'll do that. Don't be too critical about it. You can always change things later. And then the cool thing is I can hold Shift, press copy, paste. Oh yeah. Okay. And then where are we going now? We're still in A major. More compound melody, Bach. Has this beautiful, you know, kind of sweeping melody. So we're going to the E7 chord now to the A. So it's sort of like another 2-5-1. We had a 2-5-1 here, B minor, E7 to A, and then we get another one, B minor, E7 to A. Okay, so I feel like I would like to explore more of the upper register of the instrument. I've sort of been stuck in the first position mostly, so I'm going to try that. Something like that, yeah. And that really emphasizes this compound melody idea quite nicely when you change registers like that. Something like that. Oops. And throwing in that lower neighbor motive. Try saying that 3 times fast. Lower neighbor motive, lower neighbor motive, lower neighbor motive. Yeah. So now we're going to A major. Maybe I'll keep that lower neighbor motive. And where are we going next? Usually an important question to think about. We're going to this D sharp diminished. So as I said, Bach doesn't like to stay in keys for too long. So we've been in A major since around, you know, measure 6, measure 7. Let's say measure 6, or let's say measure 5 because I've labeled it there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 measures of A major. And then already we're changing keys. We had 4 measures of D major, 6 measures of A major. Now we change keys to E minor for 2 measures. And then we go to B minor for 2 measures, and then we go back to D major for a little while longer. So yeah, Bach loves to change keys. So I want to think about, it's important to think about that, where we're going next. We're changing keys. Oops. Okay. And And I do want to make it a little bit more modern, you know, I want to use some modern harmony, so that's where you get that sort of thing, which Bach probably wouldn't have used. So I might add a bass note here, just the A in the bass. I like that kind of thing. Okay. Alright, what have I done there wrong? Note value, notice so far it's just been 16th notes, which is really nice. So here Bach he's keeping this compound melody thing going. With this beautiful melody on top, and then this repeating figure underneath. Very nice. And what really hints to us that we're going to E minor is the D sharp. So now the D sharp is the leading tone of E minor. It's the raised 7th of E minor. Okay. So and then D sharp, very important, points us to E minor. Kind of do something like that. Really play on this diminished thing here. So we're going to diminish D sharp diminished chord. You want to create some drama in your music, use the diminished chord. And I am using, bit of chaconne there. That. C natural, so E minor, if we're in the key of E minor, the D becomes D sharp, and the C sharp that we had from the key signature of D major and being in the key of A major, now that C sharp becomes a C natural. I want to add the bass note in as well, F sharp, from earlier there, so ooh, pretty cool with a B in the bass there, nice. Oh, I like that crunchiness there, bit of crunchiness. Just want to check something here, what's going on? Oh, auto save, okay. Any questions, Jose? Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is kind of like a variation of Bach's piece. What I'm doing, I am intentionally trying to stick quite close to what Bach has done. If I chose to, I could veer away substantially and use different chords and go to different keys and use different rhythms and things like that. But I'm trying to show you how this can be a tool for learning composition. You know, you're basically like, it's like as close as we can get to saying Bach can I sit next to you and just see how you compose? Or Bach, can you check my work and, well, what would you say about my work? I think it's just about the closest we can get to doing that. We're, you know, sitting next to, quite literally, Bach's work here and sort of comparing and contrasting to what he did. So, oops, be tricky in this tuning, drop D tuning. And then I'll add a couple of notes to this, fill out the chord a little bit. So Bach, again, this kind of repeating arpeggio, you know, 2 beats. So these 2 beats kind of repeat pretty much again. But he does add a little variety, so I might do the same thing. I'll do a little bit of basically the same, but I'll just, the second time I'll go up. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. And again, we need to know where we're going next. So we're going to F sharp 7. So we're going to B minor now. So we've finished with E minor already, just 2 measures. And we're going to B minor, and that's why Bach has the C sharp in there. The C sharp is a note of B minor that then goes to A sharp. So A sharp is the leading tone of B minor. It's the 7th note. You know, it's the note below B, and it's raised up a half step. So it leads us, it pulls us towards B, and then we're putting that C sharp back into the key signature there. Well, Bach is. So I could do that too, actually. Perhaps, yeah. C sharp. I might sort of copy. So what Bach's done here is he's basically copied what he did here in measure 11 into measure 12. No, he hasn't. It's similar though. There's a similar sort of repetitiveness about what he's done in this measure to this measure. So I'm going to do a similar thing and do a similar pattern in measure 13 that I did in measure 11. So. Meaning I'm going to go. Similar kind of, you know, arpeggio and then high register and kind of drop down. Similar contour, you could say. Okay, so. And I want to bring out some harsh, you know, intervals a little bit here. Really bring out the drama of the minor keys. That sort of thing. Could even add a sharp now. There. Add the F sharp in the bass, just to emphasize the harmony. Just kind of trying to craft that upper register line there. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that contour. So Bach is going a lot more scale motion now. So I might do a similar thing. But I want to delay the entrance of that resolution of the melody. And then we have to think about where we're going next. So something like that. Could do imitation, but I don't want to do that. So let's think about where we're going next. We're going back to the key of D, so I need to head towards an A major with, or A7 with C sharp in the bass. Okay. That. I don't know if it'll fit there, but let's see. Because I need to get to this A chord. I really feel like it wants to go to B minor. So we have to sort of twist and turn away from that. If we're clever, we can do this. Something like that. That. So what I've tried to do there is avoid the A7 chord. I'm trying to veil the A7 chord by using some non-chord tones. I'll just repeat that, just like Bach's doing again, that kind of 2-beat. So those 2 beats there, he just repeats that here. See that? So the bass in C sharp. So the main way I've veiled the A chord is by avoiding the A. So I've kept this A sharp here, and I'm avoiding A because if I bring in the A too early, it won't transition smoothly. Well, I can't do it in a way that will transition smoothly. So then maybe I can copy this, paste it, and then just drop that B down to an A. So it's almost like sort of like we've resolved to B minor here, or resolved to a B, which is what we expected from this. Resolved to a B, and then that dropped to an A natural, and then that A natural now signifies, there we go, we're sort of going to the key of D major now. Okay. Kind of like changing that a little bit. D7. might just do a nice simple arpeggio. So what's that, a 9, D9 or something with the E in it? C natural. So this chord D7 is the dominant of the 4th chord, the dominant of G. So I'll just copy and paste that. I'll put the bass in, the nice low D in. I should probably play through what I've written pretty soon to see how it's sounding. So it's all fitting together or not, you know. I might change the end just a little bit, just to throw you off a little bit. Yeah, composers, that they do that, right? They just want to throw you off a little bit. Alright, so I should save it. Always save your work to important. Save. Okay, cool. So Bach kind of repeats a similar arpeggio pattern. You're going. I might do a similar thing where I repeat, I'm using the same chord sequence but a different arpeggio to Bach. So it'll be something like a 9th chord, so the G would go to an A. Something like that. Let's give it a go. Could use a G major 7. Is that too modern, maybe? I don't mind it. A7 next. Okay, so I'll copy that and paste it in. Can I add the bass in? Oh, we got a D in the bass, which is great. Pedaling the D, so that's an open string. Very nice. Hey. What Bach does here, this measure, he repeats, it's like an exact repeat of measure 3. Yeah? So maybe I can try, see what happens if I copy my measure 3 and paste it in there. And then we get this nice arrival point here, and this is where I might stop. So this is the beginning section. I might finish this off and then do a part 2 next time. I don't know exactly how long I've been, maybe 45 minutes, something like that. 50 minutes, yeah. Any more questions from anyone? No? Okay, so I might just vary my first measure. So And then Bach does this beautiful scale that's dropping down. So I'll do a similar thing, but just a nice descending scale. And then we'll go to a G sharp there, and I will finish that next time. But so what I'll do is I'll play through this, make sure it's all fitting together. One section in just under an hour, 45 minutes. So yeah, 45 times 3, so there's a middle and an end. There's 2 more sections, so we could estimate that it would take about an hour and a half to finish this piece. That's not bad, you know, for a big, pretty large, substantial kind of prelude. So let me play through it, see how it's all fitting together. I don't like that transition there. Oh, I like that. Kind of want that to be higher. So I'm making a couple of little changes on the fly here. I'll have to play through. I might have to play through this again. I want to make that a D. I didn't like that link. G major 7. I knew it. I knew I wouldn't like it. Maybe I'll bring out the 9th a bit more instead. Or maybe we'll do that. That's nice. Just have to change that one note to a B. Okay, I'll play through it one more time. Save it, always save your work. And I'll play it through one more time. There's a couple of little changes. I still don't know if I like that. Maybe a B. Oof. That's a tricky little transition. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that overall. I don't think this measure works super well. I just copied and pasted it like Bach did, but I don't think it personally works very well. And I'm still not super happy with that transition going from the key of E minor to the key of B. No, it wasn't that one. Yeah, it was that one. Going from E minor to B minor. This one I really like. I really like this B minor. I love that because it's like this gradual, you know, B minor, and then they're very, very nice. You know, I mean, a lot of that's due to the chord sequence that Bach has done, but I'm quite happy how I was able to do something a little bit unusual. Keep that A sharp there, and then veil it here. Veil the A, no A here, and I use that G, and it kind of creates a melody from the G to the E, and then that B sort of drops down to the A. It's just, you know, a nice kind of gradual shift of mood from this intense B minor, and then it kind of calms down towards the D7. So anyway, that's about an hour there with a couple of corrections, but yeah, pretty happy with how that went. So I'll have to do a part 2. I'll probably do the middle section, and then maybe I can get to the end in another hour. We'll see how we go, but I hope that was helpful. And I am using this, I wanted to do this live, but I'm also recording it so that I can use this for our course. We spent a few months composing and doing some workshops and that kind of thing centered around this piece, and this is the plan that's available on CCG. But I just wanted to a way to tie it all together and kind of conclude those workshops and help people who might have made a start but weren't able to maybe get through the whole piece, you know. So sometimes watching someone just go through the process, hopefully that can be helpful. Anyway, hope you enjoyed some of that, and I'll see you next time.